And you've got to realize that in life, lifestyle design, in terms of how you want to get to where you want to go, what you want to do, is very, very important if you want to have the life that you want. So you've got to search for true freedoms. Okay? You've got to search for business opportunities that make you money while freeing up your time. And if you don't know how to do that, then you've got to talk to other people who have done it. I remember, a few years ago, taking my wife through some programs and some exercises, in personal development. And she said, well, I can't keep the house clean. I said, well, you can't keep the house clean because you don't know how to do that, okay? For whatever reason, you don't know how to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Why don't you go talk to 3 or 4 other ladies who are successful, who have a lot of children, and ask them how they keep their house clean. So she did just that. She actually interviewed other mothers, and she got incredible advice on how to keep this house clean. And after that, the house was completely clean. But the point was that she had to go outside of herself to find that, okay? But your true freedoms, they should awaken your passion, free up your time, give you an incredible lifestyle, awaken you to a true path of happiness, provide thrills and adventure. If your business isn't doing that right now, if you're not feeling that way right now, then you're probably locked under a false freedom. You're probably in something, in a business, in a relationship, in a situation where you're not truly free. You're not truly free. Okay, so here's what I decided 4 years ago. I'm guessing it was 4 years ago. Could have been a little bit longer, could have been a little bit shorter. I realized this big important point, and I would write it down if you have never written this down. Your business should be a resource to unlock your true freedom. Okay, your business should be an asset to unlock your true freedoms. That's why I left corporate America. If I wanted to work 60 hours a week and have that empty feeling in my gut, I would have stayed in corporate America. I didn't want that. I wanted to be in control of my own schedule. I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have time. I wanted to be able to go to the bus stop at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and watch my kids come home from school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So your business should be an asset to unlock your true freedoms. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you how I got to this 7-figure blueprint, okay, because it didn't just naturally happen that I just naturally woke up one day and figured out how to make a multi-million-dollar business. What happened is I developed some standards, some new ways of doing things that really impacted my business in a big way. First one, I decided to start impacting people in a group. Okay, this was a big decision. Most of my relationships in business were one-on-one. So I would meet people one-on-one and I would sell them, right? But what I realized is that business, although it could make money, very time-consuming, and it didn't give me the lifestyle I wanted. So I decided, I made a decision. You see that? I made a decision. The decision I made is I impact people in a group. If someone asked me to come and meet with a person one-on-one, I would say, that's not who I am. I impact people in a group. Now, does that mean I never talk to people one-on-one? Of course not. But as a general rule, I'm trying to impact people in a group. Okay. Second decision I made was really critical, and that was I decided to work nationwide. Here's the bottom line. When you work locally, that is a great business model. It can be a great business model. The challenge with that is that it's hard to get leads locally on the internet. If your business is nationwide, it's far easier to get leads because the internet is nationwide. The internet is worldwide, and there's many, many, many sources for leads nationwide. There's fewer sources for leads in a specific zip code. And so if you can take clients from anywhere, you just really have made your life a lot easier in terms of working on the internet. So I made that decision to work nationwide. Then I decided to, and this is very important, I would definitely write this down. You must determine what is your highest and best use. Let me define highest and best use. Your highest and best use are those things that if you focus on them, if you spend time in those areas, they're going to literally double, quadruple, go 10 times, 20 times your business. One of those things I'm going to talk to you about today is seminars and getting a lot of people to listen to you, impacting people in a group. And that's going to, if you have, I don't care what you have, I don't care if you have a dental practice, a law practice, I don't care what your business is right now. Whatever it is, if you start impacting people in a group, your sales are going to be a lot higher than they are now. If all you're doing is meeting with clients one-on-one right now, what I would say is you need a shift because you should be impacting people in a group and then filtering them through to you. Okay, but find your highest and best use. The highest and best use, that is where you're going to make the most progress. Usually your highest and best use has to do with creating new relationships with other really successful people. Your highest and best use is rarely, I need to build something on my own. That's very rare that it's what your highest and best use is. Okay, so for me, my highest and best use is really working with other CEOs that are really successful and putting together strategic partnerships and strategic ventures and things like that. Okay? Get rid of tedious, boring, negative information. This was a big decision that I made. I literally made a rule. I made a standard. This was 4 or 5 years ago, and all this led to my quantum leap where I'm at right now. Okay? But I made a standard. I said I do not do anything that's negative, boring, tedious, or could reasonably be done by somebody else. Guys, you guys are doing a lot of stuff out there that's not going to make you wealthy. Your brain comes and says, I need to go to the bank. I need to take out the mail. I need to go get the mail. I need to make dinner. I need to do this. I need to cook. Your brain is telling you all this information of all these things you need to do, but the reality is you don't need to do any of it. Okay? What you need to do is spend time in your highest and best use, and you need to delegate as many other things as you can. But basically, long story short is I made a standard. I don't do anything that's negative, tedious, boring, or could reasonably be done by somebody else. If you start to make rules for yourself, would Donald Trump do that? Would Obama do that? Okay, you start asking, do success? I mean, I saw this. You might remember this show with Oprah, and they traveled across the country in a car, and I can't remember what the name of the show is, but there you see Oprah. They're filming. Oprah's out pumping gas, and she turns to the person and says, "I haven't pumped gas in 17 years or 20 years." Can you believe that? Oprah Winfrey has not pumped gas in 20 years? Are you kidding me? Okay, guys, why? Why is it that Oprah Winfrey has not pumped gas in 20 years? Because that's tedious, boring, negative energy. That's stuff that other people could do, reasonably done by somebody else. Okay? She understands that to live a billionaire lifestyle, to create billionaire status, she has to give up a lot of these meaningless activities and forward them on to somewhere else, delegate them to somewhere else. Anyway, focus on your lifestyle. Focus on the business. Make the business an asset to give you the lifestyle you want. I think that far too few people think about that. Okay. Now, these are the principles, additional principles that you're going to use to create the income of your dreams. And I'm going to show you how live events is doing that for me and a lot of the other things that I'm doing. Leverage. What would it take to double your income, triple your income, quadruple your income? Leverage is very, very important. When I'm talking about leverage, here's what I mean. If you do a task today, why not do that task and let 100 people see that task versus one? Why do you think I do webinars? Do you know how much time it would take if I had to individually go to each one of you and explain what I'm explaining right now? That could take forever, okay? And so the bottom line is I've got leverage in my business because a lot of people listen to me. A lot of people follow me. I've got an 80,000 person database. I've got access to a 20 million person database of business opportunity seekers, investors, real estate people, interested in making money online, interested in making money in a business, etc. I've got all kinds of incredible relationships like this, okay? Why am I telling you that? Because I made a decision to focus on leverage. It was just a decision. I focused on how do I get leverage, and I started investing my time and energy in that. Focus. One thing I'll say about focus is who's in your phone. This is a statement that I always have loved, and I encourage you to write this down. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. That's something I thought about 4 or 5 years, and I think, you know what? I don't want to be egotistical, but many times it just feels like I'm the smartest person in the room, and that's just crazy. And so I started to change that. I started to hang out with other successful people, other people making more money than me, masterminds, CEO clubs, events, and I just started really understanding that there are certain people that are smarter than me. I need to hang around those kind of people. Focus. What's your focus? If your focus is just doing your own business to the exclusion of talking to other successful people, stop doing that. Okay? I don't care if you have to pay $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, join country clubs. Why do you think successful CEOs join country clubs? It's not a secret. Successful people hang around successful people. Why do you see CEOs going to some of the top events? Because they like to speak? Well, they might like to speak, but the reason why they go is to hang around with the other CEOs that are going to be there. It's not rocket science. Money begets money. So focus. Focus on on building relationships with successful people. And energy. Do what you love and find energy and excitement in those things that you focus on. Are you having fun? That comes down to energy. If you're having fun and you're really doing something exciting, you're going to be a lot more successful at it. If you just kind of have to go through your day, dragging through your day, oh my gosh, another day, geez, that's hard to make it through, isn't it? Okay, so once again, wealth key number one is leverage. Look at this. This is one person there. Would you rather impact one person, or would you rather impact 20 people or 10 people? And what will that do? What will that do for your sales? Well, what it'll do for your sales is a quantum leap. It'll take you 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times sales. Okay? So this is kind of the decisions that I made, is I was going to start moving, impacting people more in a group. So guys, you have a decision time, just like I have a decision time. Do you want to keep doing your onesie-twosie stuff that you do right now, or do you want to develop systems and methods to start impacting people in a group and start getting other deals done from all the people that are coming into your world? And guess what? In my world, I have 17 income streams right now. Okay, my non-core business income streams pay my whole lifestyle for my business and even profit on top of the business before I even get to my core businesses. Does that make sense? Is that crazy? My non-core business income streams make enough money to fund my whole lifestyle even before I get to my core business activities. Why is that? Because I learned something very small, very, very wise, and I'm not sure how I learned this, but what I learned is that there's a couple ways you can make money. You can either get new leads, get new people to make money, finding buyers, sellers, investors, or you can simply learn how to make more money from the people already in your world. If you have 500 previous investor buyers, well, guess what? Those investor buyers probably also want to buy life insurance. They want to probably also buy cash flowing properties. They probably also want to go to events. They probably want to learn how to make money online. They probably want to learn how to have a better relationship with their wife or their spouse or their girlfriend. And the list goes on and on. They want to manage their money, but they want to learn how to use QuickBooks. They want to learn how to use YouTube. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that all these people in your world, you can either keep selling the same thing, try to sell them over and over, or you can get smart and learn that if you can make more money from each person in your world, you're going to get a lot wealthier, okay? And here's the key, okay? One of the biggest keys to doing this is to have a big group of people that follow you. One of the best ways to get a big group of people to follow you and spend money with you is to do live events. And that's what I'm going to expose you to now the rest of the way here, is talking about the models on how you do these live events. And obviously, you must know that it's a big business because you've probably been to some live events. And if you haven't been to live events, you probably know someone that has. Would it surprise you to know that if there's 100 people in the room, that it's not uncommon for $100,000 to come out of that room if it's a free event? Would it surprise you to know if there's 100 people in the room and it's a paid event, it's not a surprise to have $200,000 to $300,000 or more come out of that room in terms of revenue if it's a paid event? Okay, probably not a surprise to you that seminars can be extremely profitable. They can also involve a small amount of capital and risk, and they lead to a big back end. I'm going to explain to you that in a second. And you can also have a great lifestyle traveling with influential people. So like I said before, it's going to create massive paydays. 100 people can often lead to $100,000. Now, it could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more. Paid seminar can lead to $200,000, $300,000 or more in a paid seminar of 100 people. Okay? It's extremely profitable business. Why do you think people are doing it? Okay? Because it costs $25,000 to put the event together, and they bring $100,000 out of it. And the paid events, it may even cost less than that. But if you could spend 25 and bring back 100, or spend 25 and bring back 200, would that be a good business to be in? Of course it would be. Okay? Now, some people spend a lot more than that. It doesn't matter. If you spent 50 and brought back 300, it would still be worth it, right? Okay.